Feels like they're kind of starting to turn things around. It was not a good start to the season. They're playing a Brantford Red Sox team that's playing for the third time in 3 days. And after the loss against the London Majors, the Maple Leafs have a really good opportunity to get back in the win column.
Yeah, and I think that loss against London, they really thought they could win that game. It was a little bit of a slow start, somewhat like the season has been for them. A little bit of a slow start. They kind of were bouncing back. Things were going. They just couldn't get that win. 1-1 on the week, and like you said, they're facing a Brantford's Red Sox team. It's been struggling so far this year, so a very good opportunity to win the week.
Listen, at the beginning of the season, if I said that Ryan Dos Santos was going to be leading the Toronto Maple Leafs in home runs with 3 early on this season, would you ever have thought that that was a possibility?
With the likes of Salazzo, Mara, Castaldo on the team, I mean, it's hard to imagine it, but this is where we're at. And I think the big thing was that game in Kitchener. He had 2 home runs, one pulling it right down the line, and the other one opposite field. That was almost a no-doubt shot. So Dos Santos has been red hot to start the season.
Some of the guys like Jordan Castaldo have really started to pick things up as well. Castaldo's been on a tear lately for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's a guy that's now in the leadoff spot. It seems like that spot suits him just with the amount that he can get on base, and now he's swinging the bat well as well.
Yeah, and that's what you mentioned, his ability to get on base. Castaldo is one of the best players in the IBL at doing so, whether that's getting a base hit, drawing a walk. He is a phenomenal bat to have in that leadoff spot, and when you have him leading off, it just kind of sets the tone for the lineup for the entire game.
The Maple Leafs finally have a Sunday where they're not playing 3 games in 3 days. In fact, they're not even playing on back-to-back days, but they're playing against the Brantford Red Sox team that doesn't have a ton of pitching depth, and it's also a team where their depth is going to be tested today. How important is it for the Maple Leafs to get to Ricardo DeLugo early on today?
Oh, massive. I mean, like you said, this is a Brantford team that has played multiple games in the last couple of days. They got to get to the starting pitching early. They got to get him out of the game because, like you mentioned, Brantford, they don't have a lot of depth right now in that pitching staff, so if the Maple Leafs can score some runs early, most likely we'll be able to secure this game.
The pitching depth of the Brantford Red Sox will be tested today, and the Maple Leafs are trying to get back in the win column after a loss to the London Majors. We'll have the national anthems, and we'll be right back here at Dominico Field after this.
Amazing job so far bringing this new era. Glad to have you guys out here supporting us every Wednesday, Sunday, social media. Just want to say a happy Father's Day out there to all the dads and all the father figures. And I just want to do a big shout out to my father, Papa Slaz, there on top of the hill. You'll see him having his cigar, so wish him a happy Father's Day. I wouldn't be the man I am today without him, and thank you for all the support. Thanks, guys.
Well, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out here. That was John Salazzo there giving a shout out to his dad out on the hill today. For the Brantford Red Sox, they have been on a hot stretch, a team that has won 4 games so far this season. Well, 3 of them have come in their last 4 games, Zach. They've been good of late. On June 8th, they had the 18-5 win against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, where the offense really had a good showing. And then another win against the Kitchener Panthers. Now, neither of those 2 teams are the strongest in the Inter-County Baseball League, but then they came out and won against Hamilton. And that was a statement game for this Brantford team, because that Hamilton Cardinals team has been good this season.
Yeah, and when you look at what they've done, like you said, the last 4, winning 3 out of that 4, the win against Hamilton is so impressive. The 6-3, like you mentioned, that team is so strong. Brantford struggling a lot, and I mean, like, even against the Guelph Royals, only losing by 1, could have gone either way.
Angel Castro is on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Gave up 5 home runs in his last game. That came against the Welland Jackfish, but threw a lot of strikes in that game, which I talked to Sam Green. That was something that he was really happy to see, and all 5 of the home runs that he gave up were solo shots. So he did a good job at keeping guys off the base path. He'll probably want to improve on that start this time against the Brantford Red Sox. And he's facing Gus Wilson, who's been one of the better hitters in the Inter-County Baseball League for the last 2 years. He's at the plate right now for Brantford.
And we look at Wilson, a .395 batting average, and it's just leading the team, I should say, by over 100 points for batting average. He has been sensational for this Brantford Red Sox team.
Another strike throw in there from Angel Castro, and Gus Wilson is behind in the count, 1-2. That one's up and away from Castro.
And one thing I will say about Castro is, you know, you mentioned he had that rough start his last time out, but the game against Kitchener, he was very vocal on the bench for this Toronto Maple Leaf squad, and it was almost like he was being a mentor towards Will Hennis Alvarado, who had a fantastic start in Kitchener.
Wilson stays alive. He fouls it off at home plate. Gus Wilson played a little bit in the West Coast League with the Victoria Harbor Cats, and in 2020 played with the USAO Drovers. And then was fantastic in the Inter-County Baseball League after that. Hit .352 last season with 29 RBIs. Spent a lot of time in that leadoff spot as well. Making Angel Castro throw a lot of pitches here. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gus Wilson goes down swinging, and a good start for Angel Castro here in the top of the first.
Fantastic look. It's exactly what you want to see, especially after that last outing he had. Just get on the strikeouts early on here in this one. First bat of the game, and a very potent bat in Gus Wilson.
Angel Castro went 5 innings last time out. Gave up 10 hits and 5 earned runs, but did strike out 8 in those 5 innings against the Welland Jackfish, who have been the most potent offensive team this year. And walked just 1 in that start as well. Here's the 0-1 to Kieran Bowles, and it's bounced in the dirt. Kieran Bowles has had a good start to the season, hitting .293 in 41 at-bats. The 1-1 from Angel Castro. And Kieran Bowles takes low. Kieran Bowles has played on a couple different teams in the Inter-County Baseball League, as the 2-1 from Angel Castro is popped up. This one's on the infield. And a catch is made there by Dan Mara at second base as you saw the wind carrying that ball out towards center field. Jeremy Veilleux, the catcher for the Brantford Red Sox. He's played in all 12 games for Brantford this year. And he swings and misses. Veilleux is off to a start this season hitting .283 in 46 at-bats. He also is one of 4 Brantford Red Sox to hit a home run this season. Here's the 0-1. And he foul tips it into the glove of Lachlan Maud.
And you look at the hottest hitters on this squad, well, the top 3 hottest hitters are also the top 3 in the batting order here for Brantford. They really stack the top half of this lineup to try to produce some runs and try to produce some good offense.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Angel Castro starts out well for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He gets the Brantford Red Sox 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning here at Dominico Field. Back here at Dominico Field, this is what Jordan Castaldo has been doing lately. He's on an 11-game hit streak, and over that stretch, he has been excellent. He's put together 16 hits, he's walked 6 times, he's hit 2 home runs, and he's hitting .340 over that stretch as well, which is much closer to the Jordan Castaldo that we've known here at Dominico Field for many years, and many IBL fans will have known he's a perennial 300 hitter. Also on a 47-game on-base streak. And what better thing to do hitting on the leadoff spot, which is Jordan Castaldo is doing, than getting on base. And that's what he's been fantastic at lately.
Yeah, and I mean, you always talk about what you want out of a leadoff hitter, and that is just to get on base and set the tone for the rest of this lineup. And Jordan Castaldo has been doing that to a T. You mentioned that 47-game on-base streak and then the hitting streak he's on. But the thing that scares me the most about Castaldo is that his power is coming back. I mean, we didn't see it to start off the season, but the last couple of games, he has been hitting some baseballs very, very hard. And even the outs that he's getting, well, those are hard hit balls, but it's just right to an outfielder.
Yeah. How about that home run against Kitchener?
That I was there to watch that, and when I tell you that thing was smoked off the bat, I guessed it went 430 feet.
Yeah, to dead center field there in Kitchener. He will face Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo on the mound for the Brantford Red Sox. A 3-pitch pitcher, gets that fastball up around 87 miles an hour. See a changeup, a curveball, and the fastball from Alvarez de Lugo.
And it's this approach at the plate that Castaldo has. You know, early on here, he's down 0-2, but so many times we've seen him just battle back to full count or battle back to get a pitch that he likes, and he just smokes the baseball.
Down 0-2. And he fouls it off. Jordan Castaldo's walk totals have actually been down from what he usually has over his 11-game hitting streak, but that's just because he's getting hits so often and doubles. Jordan Castaldo just tied Damon Toppoli for 3rd all-time in the Inter-County Baseball League in doubles. So the next one, he'll pass his former teammate and manager here at Dominico Field and Damon Toppoli. On the ground, a diving stop by Nick Burdett. Throw to first in time. What a pretty play, and there's one away.
That's just fantastic defense. You know, funny enough, we see Castaldo do that so often over there at first, and now it's on the opposite side. Burdett, he just lays out, grabs it, and he throws out Castaldo.
So that brings up Justin Mara. And the first pitch from Alvarez de Lugo is in there for a strike. He's been pounding the zone now through the first two hitters. Justin Mara also had a milestone of his own in that game against the Welland Jackfish. He reached 250 career hits. Pitch is outside, so now 2-1. And Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo has been excellent for Brantford this season, an ERA of 1.74 as he delivers high ball 3 now to Justin Mara, who's found himself in a hitter's count. His last outing came against the Guelph Royals, and a game that, believe it or not, the Brantford Red Sox lost, but Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo went 7 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs, 7 hits, and struck out 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's just fantastic. When you look at a starting pitcher and what he can do for you, you know, you save that bullpen. Oh, he freezes Mara right there.
No, he doesn't. Why did we both think that?
I saw the umpire stand up and go back. I thought he was about to punch him out.
I thought he did punch him out. Well, the umpire looked like he kind of turned, but it was ball 4 on a slow breaking ball from Alvarez de Lugo. So Justin Mara will take it. He's on first base. That pitch did look pretty close, and that brings up Marcus Connect. And Marcus Connect has been smashing the baseball lately for the Maple Leafs. Started off the season 0 for 17, which is very uncharacteristic of Marcus Connect, and we said, oh, this can't continue. And it didn't. Now over his last 4 games, he's hitting 400.
And I think the biggest blast was the one he had in Kitchener. I mean, that got out of the park in a hurry. You know, I talked about Castaldo's home run, the distance it had. I mean, I think Connect had the hardest hit ball of the day.
Yeah. Connect takes a ball up and in. Marcus Connect has 10 hits in his last 25 at-bats with 7 RBIs, and one's a home run, 2 are doubles. So here's the 2-1. And Connect lines one into the outfield. That's going to split the gap and roll all the way to the wall. Marcus Connect is cruising into second base with a double. Justin Mara up to third, and the Maple Leafs have something cooking here in the bottom of the first.
Fantastic piece of hit and Connect. It looked like a fastball in the inner half, and he kind of just inside outs it into right center field. A perfect slice where it goes right into the gap. And just keep that bat hot, Mr. Connect.
That'll bring up John Salazzo, who had a couple hits last time out against the London Majors. Two in scoring position for the best RBI guy on the Maple Leafs in Salazzo, and he takes a big cut at the first pitch from Ricardo de Lugo.
And we all saw what Salazzo did last year and how good he was in that massive, massive power surge of a season. This year, it seems like he's going for that big contact approach. Hasn't really broken out for any crazy big hits. Only 3 extra base hits on the year.
Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo has now called both Jeremy Villa and the home plate umpire out to the mound to chat about something.
Best guess is probably just a mix-up of signs and to make sure that the pitcher and the catcher are on the same page, and that's why the ump goes out. He also signaled no mound visit.
Okay. I was wondering what the safe call was.
Okay, I'll be back.
So here's the 1-1, and it's high. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And Salazzo pops it up. This isn't going to be deep enough to get the run in. And it's the shortstop, Gus Wilson, who makes the catch. And now it falls on Ryan Dos Santos, the only hitter above 300 in the Maple Leafs lineup, to try and knock two guys in here with 2 outs.
And with how this year has gone, this is the right guy you have at the plate. Leads the team in home runs, RBIs, second in hits only to Castaldo, and tied for first in doubles.
Had a heck of a game a couple games ago for the Maple Leafs. That was part of an 8-7 win against Kitchener. 2 home runs in the game. Scored 3 times, drove in 3 runs. Takes a breaking ball in there for a strike. Fastballs are not what you want to be throwing, Ryan Dos Santos, right now, although in the Intercounty Baseball League, sometimes you got to go to the heater.
In that Kitchener game, his last at-bat, he got a dose of sliders and changeups only.
There's a fastball, and he rips it straight to the backstop, now behind 0-2. The first pitch from Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo was a slow breaking ball in there for a strike. That's the curveball. So Dos Santos behind on the count, 2-0. De Lugo has him right where he wants him, and a breaking ball is upstairs. That breaking ball from De Lugo is way slower than the fastball.
And the strikeout totals for Dos Santos, they are the highest on the team, but also the walk totals. He has 14, so he is prone to lengthening out these at-bats.
That one goes to the backstop. Here comes Justin Mara, their play at the plate, and he is safe. The Maple Leafs take a 1-0 lead on a costly wild pitch by Alvarez de Lugo.
And that's a tough break for De Lugo, and I'm sure the Maple Leafs, they will take that dearly. Mara, great read on the pass ball.
Jeremy Villa didn't get that ball out of his hand very quickly, or else that would have been a much closer play at the plate. The backstop is not very far here at Dominico Field, so you got to be very careful when that ball gets past the catcher if you're the runner on third base. Now Ryan Dos Santos will try and add one more. Pitch is outside, and the count runs full. Ryan Dos Santos has hits in his last 3 games. Ryan Dos Santos hits it on the ground. Big hop there for Gus Wilson. He whips it to first. Nick Burdett nearly had to scoop that out of the dirt, but the play is made, and the Brantford Red Sox get out of it, but not before a wild pitch allows a run to come in to score for the Maple Leafs. They lead 1-0 here at Dominico Field. Welcome back to Dominico Field, and the trend that we've seen for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season is that good defense leads to wins and bad defense leads to losses. And in Maple Leafs losses this season, they've averaged 2.44 errors. They've even had games where they've had 5 or 6 errors, and you can see there in wins, less than an error per game, and there's no question that defense has been the problem for the Maple Leafs when they've lost games this season.
Yeah, and it's been really just a tough break. You know, the middle of the infield, that's kind of where the woes have been in some of those losses with the defense, and that's kind of surprising because, you know, we're so used to seeing Jose Vinicio play such sound defense. He leads the team this year with 6 errors, and then right behind him, it's just almost a group of players that just have 4. So it's been a little bit of a rough stretch with the errors in those losses, but like we mentioned in the pregame, Maple Leafs are trying to turn things around, and they're headed in the right direction.
This is Nick Burdett at the plate for the Brantford Red Sox. Angel Castro continues to pound the zone and is ahead 0-2. And Burdett will lay off on that pitch up in the zone. Lachlan Maud is behind the plate today for the Maple Leafs, giving Justin Mara a semi-day off as he's in the DH spot. That one's just outside. Now it's 2-2. Toronto Maple Leafs has John Salazzo at third base, Jose Vinicio at short, Dan Mara at second, and Jordan Castaldo at first. And the outfield is Dos Santos, Connect, and Jesse Hodges in right. Swing and a miss, strike three. Third strikeout for Angel Castro as he gets the big first baseman, Nick Burdett.
And that's back-to-back innings where he has started off with a strikeout. So fantastic job by Castro. Just when he gets onto that mound to start an inning, he is just efficient.
Brantford Red Sox are a team that's been hot lately with 3 wins in their last 4 games. It's the pitch from Castro. And that one just misses outside. Desai at the plate for the Brantford Red Sox. Count now 3-1. The only guy on the team that has multiple home runs. Had a big grand slam a couple games ago.
Just sits second on the team with RBIs. He's tied with Burdett, only sitting behind Jeremy.
Desai swings and misses. Counts now 3-2. Five-half Desai is off to a 182 start at the plate. He's played in 11 of the 12 games for Brantford this season. And he hits the ball sharply on the ground. One hop stop there by Dan Mara. Throw to first in time. Jordan Castaldo scoops it out of the dirt. And there's 2 away.
Working quickly and efficiently here is Castro.
So this is just the 4th at-bat in the Intercounty Baseball League for Matt Torrenson. Still looking for that first Intercounty Baseball League hit, played on June 7th against the Guelph Royals. Brantford obviously probably has a bit of fatigue setting in, playing 3 games in 3 days, and unfortunately they're playing a game that's on a day of rest, as the Maple Leafs did not play on Saturday. Torrenson hits it on the ground right at home plate, but he fouled it off himself. So the count's now 1-1.
When you look around the IBL and you look at the standings, you kind of see, the Maple Leafs, if they can string some wins together in this little mid-stage of the season, they can get right back into that conversation of top spot. Obviously, well in that team that is kind of just light years ahead of everybody. You look 10-3. They're on a 7-game win streak.
Torrenson hits one up the middle for a base hit, and there is the first Intercounty Baseball League hit for Matt Torrenson.
Left fielder number 34.
So a runner on now for Roger Keane. Roger Keane has played in 6 games for the Red Sox this season, hitting .200 on the year. Roger Keane did put together a decent campaign last year. In 27 games and 64 at-bats, hit .250. But strikeouts were a problem last season for Keene as he struck out 17 times and just over 60 at-bats. Now he hits it on the ground. Jose Vinicio backhands it. This is going to have to be a heck of a play to first, and he got him. Oh, Jose Vinicio, what a play to get Roger Keene. And the Maple Leafs are out of the inning. 1-0 Toronto here at Dominico Field. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Well, back here at Dominico Field, taking a look at the current Inter-County Baseball League ERA leaders. And well, it's been a great start for Ben Abram of the Welland Jackfish. Cesar Rosado, the guy with the funky delivery and the nasty breaking ball, has been really good for the Barrie Baycats. And you would expect to see the guy we see on the mound right now in Ricardo Alvarez DeLugo to be up there if he has a good start today. Obviously, he just doesn't have enough innings pitched per games played by his team, as he just has the one start so far. But this is a real opportunity for Alvarez DeLugo if he pitches well today to get his name up there on that board. And if he has a good start today, I think we can confidently say that he's one of the more effective pitchers early on here in the IBL.
Yeah, and I mean, if, like you mentioned, if he can go 6 strong, you know, he went 7 his last time out. If he can have another good game, this is a good opportunity for him to make his name known here in the IBL.
Marcus Connect just missed that pitch. It's high in the air, and the center fielder makes the catch. Jesse Hodges, I should say, at the plate. Marcus Connect, obviously the 3-hitter today for the Maple Leafs. Matt Torrenson was the one out there in center field who made the catch. He's got Roger Keene and Graham Tibbett out there to his right and left. Desai is at third base, Gus Wilson at shortstop, Kieran Bowles at second, and Nick Burdett, who make a heck of a play in the first inning, is at first, with Jeremy Villieux doing the catching for Ricardo Alvarez DeLugo. Jose Vinicio is up high. Counts now 1-1. Vinicio fouls it off. Jose Vinicio is still not, I think, where he wants to be at the plate. Ideally, he's the guy who's getting on base the most for the Maple Leafs, and well, I guess hitting in that leadoff spot, because that's where he likes to be, but starting to turn things around just a little bit for Toronto. That one hits Vinicio, so he will have an opportunity to create some of that havoc on the base path as he's aboard to lead off the inning.
Yeah, and Vinicio, in the last couple of games, he had a really big hit in Kitchener. He was the one that drove the go-ahead run in the extra innings with that double he had to right field. And I mean, he's just been impressive when you look at what he's been able to try to turn the season around. We just saw a fantastic defensive play out of Vinicio. Maybe this is the kind of game he needs to bounce back.
Another high breaking ball there from Alvarez DeLugo. And he faces Lachlan Maud, the catcher for the Maple Leafs.
Not sure if you noticed after that first pitch, Vinicio, he was hopping off of first base. He thought about going, and Alvarez DeLugo just decided, you got to stay close.
Jose Benicio was still trying to get a sliding mitt on. And was already jumping off of first base. He is a crafty player over there.
We talked about it a bunch earlier on in the season. Even though he wasn't getting on base a lot, when he was still being efficient. 9 stolen bases. The next closest is DeSantos at 6.
He also does have hits in his last 5 games, but a lot of those are 1 for 4s, 2 for 4s, nothing crazy like 4 or 5 hit games like we've seen from Jose Benicio in the past. But the batting average is climbing every single game for Jose Benicio. Getting closer and closer to where he'll be. Lachlan Maud hits it down the line. That's a fair ball. The blazing speed of Jose Benicio around first base and all the way to third. Maud holds up at first, and the Maple Leafs have runners on the corners with 1 out here in the second.
Looked like Maud got jammed with that inside fastball, but the power of this young man, I mean, he takes it the opposite way, just tucked in between that first baseline and the first baseman. Fantastic piece of hitting.
That's the 3rd hit for Lachlan Maud on the Maple Leafs. He doesn't have an extra base hit yet, but that was very close as he hit it down the line. It brings up Dan Mara, the second baseman for Toronto. Lachlan Maud had a great game against the Hamilton Cardinals, where he picked up a couple of hits. But for Lachlan Maud this season, it's been either get a hit or strike out. He has had 4 strikeouts against the Hamilton Cardinals in that 2-hit game.
Maud starting the season as the junior call-up, and I mean, he's been filling a really good role. Came on when Justin Mara was away from the team.
Dan Mara slaps this one into the outfield, down for a base hit. That's going to score Jose Benicio, and the Maple Leafs lead 2-0.
And that's the Dan Mara we saw last year. It's just those short little slap hits that just kind of fall right behind the infielders. Fantastic piece of hitting out of Dan Mara.
A lot of the time he doesn't pull the ball, loves to hit the ball the other way. He's been doing that a bit lately, and that hit now has increased his streak to 6 consecutive games getting a base hit. Dan Mara also had a very slow start to the season, but has really picked it up lately for the Maple Leafs. Back to the top of the order now with Jordan Castaldo, who takes ball 1.
This is also something you want to see out of that 9 spot. A guy that's able to just kind of flip the batting order like this to get to guys like Jordan Castaldo, Justin Mara.
Castaldo hits it into the outfield, down for a base hit, make it 48 games in a row getting on base, and it's going to score a run for the Maple Leafs as well. They lead 3-0, and that one is a double. So Damon Toppoli step aside. A new 3rd place in the Intercounty Baseball League doubles leaderboard belongs to Jordan Castaldo.
Just again, fantastic piece of hitting. Castaldo, this is what we're so used to seeing out of him. You know, he's an on-base merchant, is what I like to say.
Yeah.
That average will most likely jump over 300 now. But again, just fantastic play. Castaldo has been a staple atop of this lineup.
Justin Mara steps to the plate. He has 2 in scoring position. And Mara takes outside ball 1. Alvarez de Lugo looked good in the first inning, although he did give up a run. He was throwing a lot of strikes, didn't have any trouble finding the zone. Now he's starting to fall behind hitters, and the Maple Leafs are getting hits. Here's the 1-0.
And this was kind of the game plan we discussed pregame is the Leafs, they got to get some runs early on. Get Alvarez de Lugo, get that pitch count high, because this Brantford Red Sox team, they don't have a lot of pitching right now. Like we mentioned, this is the 3rd game of 3.
Outside 2-1. Alvarez de Lugo behind a dangerous hitter in Justin Mara. Not a lot of of depth in the Brantford bullpen today as Justin Mara takes a strike. Coleman Goodwin as well pitched in yesterday's game. The 2-2 to Mara. Up high, full count. A dangerous hitter right now, and Marcus Connect looms on deck. Alvarez DeLugo does not want to put Justin Mara on here. And he will. Ball 4. Justin Mara heads down to first base, and the bases are loaded from the guy hitting 400 in his last 5 games, and Marcus Connect. Also had a ringing double in his first at-bat today. A meeting on the mound and no action right now in the Brantford bullpen. They need Ricardo Alvarez DeLugo to get through at least 4 innings today, right?
Yeah, you need something out of him. You know, we keep talking about this Brantford Red Sox bullpen. They don't have a lot of arms, and I feel like that's what the message on the mound was. It was like, hey, you know, you got to get through a couple innings here. Bite the bullet. It might be hitting you right now, but we got to get some length out of you.
Throwing strikes is the answer, but Marcus Connect has not mind seeing a fastball in the strike zone lately. So he gets a breaking ball, and it's in there for strike 1.
We saw what he was able to do in Kitchener when he got a pitch he liked. He roped it over the fence. Let's see what he can do here. Bases loaded.
0-1, and Marcus Connect just missed an inside hanging breaking ball, and he fouls it straight back. Now it's 0-2, and if Ricardo Alvarez DeLugo can get a pitch maybe low and in or low and away and get a ground ball, that would change the course of this ball game.
And leave some dangerous bats on deck and in the hole.
Connect takes way high. He was looking for the strike with the fastball. 1-2. The Brantford Red Sox were very lucky yesterday to get a great start from Jeremiah Sucre, who went 6 innings and gave up just 2 earned runs. Coleman Goodwin, Nash, and Law locked it down and only gave up 1 hit over the last 3 innings to secure the win. And this one is crushed high and deep to left field, but it is going to hang up. Catch made. Ryan Dos Santos will tag, or Dan Mara, I should say, will tag and score, and the Maple Leafs lead 4-0.
And that's just doing a job. At least you get 1 run out of it. Good job by Connect to get that to the deep parts of left field. And that's just kind of textbook baseball is what you want to see.
3rd sack fly of the season for Marcus Connect, but that ball was a mile high. He just missed it.
Just underneath it. I mean, I'm scared to know if he squared that one up, how far that was going to go.
John Salazzo at the plate with a runner on 1st and 2nd. Takes a breaking ball in for strike 1. The 1-0, or the 0-1 I should say, and Salazzo takes high 1-1.
And how big would it be for Salazzo to just try to get a big blast here, an extra base hit, possibly home run? He hasn't homered since May 29th against Barrie.
Salazzo hits this one deep to left field, and it's gone. 3-run home run, John Salazzo, and the Maple Leafs have blown it wide open at 7-0.
And we talk about it, his power number, Salazzo, he can go anywhere, but we don't usually see him go oppo like that. It's usually always to pull. Another note, I like to call that one the Castor Kibosh, the good luck call there on Father's Day.
Yeah, gave the shout out to Papa Salazzo up on the hill, and he hit a home run for him as well. And I know John Salazzo was thinking about that coming around the base pass. Salazzo is starting to pick things up with the power numbers now, tied for the team lead with 3 home runs. That ball just got out to left field.
And again, it's not really typical we see him go opposite field. You know, that ball kind of just had enough carry. There's a little bit of a breeze, but it's not even blowing towards left field. It's more towards right.
Just now, the Brantford Red Sox starting to get some action in the bullpen. Ryan Dos Santos bunts one down the third baseline. And he had Desai sleeping over there at third base, but couldn't get it in fair territory. Dos Santos takes strike 3 called, and that'll get Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo out of the inning, but not before the Maple Leafs put up a big number here in the second. They lead 7-0 over the Brantford Red Sox, and we'll be right back.
All right, here we go. 3. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Dominico Field, a 7-0 lead for the Maple Leafs, who put up a 6-spot in the second. Evan Ryan leading things off for the Brantford Red Sox, just 15 at-bats this season, has a couple of hits.
Getting the runs early, that's what the Maple Leafs needed to do, and looked good doing it in last inning. That capped it all off with the Salazzo blast.
Yeah, well, we talked about that in the pregame show, right? Getting to Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo early on, making him throw a lot of pitches. I mean, there are some effective arms down there in that Brantford Red Sox bullpen, but the problem is there aren't many of them, and some of them pitched yesterday. So
yeah, that's the hard part. You have 3 games all back-to-back. I mean, the pitching gets thinned.
Evan Ryan lifts one out to center field. Marcus Connect under it, makes the catch. One away. So not only does scoring runs early on help the Maple Leafs just because they're winning the ball game, but it helps them later as well because they get into the pitching depth. And Brantford Red Sox will have a couple days off to rest up. And whether they win or lose this game, this has been an effective weekend for Brantford, an effective week, really. Graham Tibbett leading things off. swings and misses, now 0-2. Solid start so far for Angel Castro, and it will continue. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's 4 on the afternoon as he gets Tibbet.
Shortstop number 27, Gus Wilson.
Well, Gus Wilson is 0 for 1 today. Angel Castro got him on a strikeout to lead off the first inning. But Gus Wilson has also been really good this season, hitting .386. Takes down and away, ball 1.
And Castro pitching just extremely efficiently. You look at what he's been able to do in the first 2 innings. He went 5 straight batters before allowing a hit, and now he's on a 4 straight, sat down.
That went off the mask of Lachlan Maud, so the home plate umpire will give him a moment to regroup. The 1-1 to Gus Wilson. That's hit into the outfield. Jesse Hodges over. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. Angel Castro, brilliant through 3 innings. And on the other side, we'll have Maple Leafs GM Jeff Lounsbury. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Dominico Field. 7-0 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and pleased to be joined in the broadcast booth by Jeff Lounsbury, GM of the Maple Leafs. Jeff, beautiful day for a ball game today.
Gorgeous day.
Good time for a home run
that
from Jesse
is what
Hodges,
we need there.
but that one's off the wall.
Don't pull a muscle, Jesse. All right.
You have been a good luck charm in the broadcast booth. Last time you were here, the Salazzo home run. Now Jesse Hodges rips one off the wall.
Well, I missed the Salazzo by half an inning this time. Sorry.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, news of the day. Big pitching signing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. We were just chatting about it. Yeah. Taylor Lepard is back in the mix for the Maple Leafs.
It's great to have Taylor Lepard back. We wish the circumstances were a little different.
Right.
We wish the best for Taylor in his pro pursuits, but we will take him. He's a quality arm, quality kid. He basically come across the border last night at about 10:30, 11 o'clock to get back home to Canada, and was in uniform today. Yeah. We got him officially signed about 5 o'clock, 5:30 this morning. So we're good. We're happy to have him.
Huge addition to the bullpen too, right? I don't know if you follow Lepard on social media, but he is a social media star, right? He's showing all his workout videos.
Yeah,
he's ripped. He's throwing 96.
Yeah, we follow Lepard quite good, and Greener's been working with him too, so Greener's very familiar with him. Yeah, we're just happy to be part of his journey. So if it's 2 weeks, if it's 7 days, if it's all year, great. The point, I guess, is eventually, we want Taylor to be part of this when he's 30 years old, and playing. So we're just happy to help him out.
Speaking of the people on the team that are 30 plus years old, some of them had a bit of a slow start to the season, right? Things are starting to turn around and the team's starting to win a little bit more. Do you see a correlation between those two things?
Yeah, we talked about this. We knew this would happen. We knew it would take some time. These guys, our guys have jobs and full-time jobs and are a little older, so their Novembers, March are a little different than a college kid who's eating and breathing baseball at the time, right? Our guys have other priorities. Baseball is a priority, but they have other priorities, and it takes them a while. We said Danny Mara's got 3 hits in his last 3 at bats or 4 at bats right now.
Yeah.
Vinicio, there is that going to be? No, foul. It's going to take these guys a while. Hodges, it's just they're in shape, but they're not game shape, and they're a little behind and a little, just a little late kind of thing. It takes a while to catch up. The league's better than it was 10 years ago too, right? So it takes a bit.
We saw what looked like it was going to be a bit of a scary incident with Sam Green on the mound the other day. He walked off holding his arm. That's the GM's nightmare, isn't it? Coach's nightmare as well. But it sounds like he's starting to get pretty close.
Yeah, Sam. We got Sam scheduled to pitch an inning on Wednesday. So he's throwing a couple of bullies. He has reported that he's healthy and ready to go. We'll ease him back in, of course. Be smart about it. And get him back up to speed.
Jose Vinicio has hits in his last 5 games as well. I know it's a tough start for him, and I know he's probably feeling that a little bit. Do you have a bit more confidence in him now that you feel like he's starting to get it going?
Yeah, he got off to a bad start last year too. For him, it took him a while to get going. At the end of the day, he's going to be hitting 300. We know it. We wish he was a little more consistent with the defense this year. That's not like him to struggle a little bit. But then you saw that play he made in the first inning today. There is another guy in the league making that play.
No.
So he'll be fine.
So Lachlan Maud comes to the plate now for the Maple Leafs. What can you tell us about this kid?
Yeah, he can hit. He's a hitter. He's a D1 kind of guy. He's young, very young. So it might take him a little while to get going. I think we're doing the right thing. We're easing him in. We're not expecting a lot from him to come in and, dominate. We're going to pick his spots. We also saw Chialtas behind the plate on Thursday.
Yeah.
So our game plan is to give Justin Mara some time off.
Yeah.
Justin Mara is still one of the best catchers in the league. We saw him throw out guys from his knees constantly right now.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure he's healthy and going the whole year. And that was part of the thing. We said we have a position now, the DH spot can kind of rotate a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's take advantage of that we don't have a DH only kind of guy, and give Justin some time off during the summer.
Is that a decision that you and the coaching staff are making, or has that been a request from some of the older players?
No, Justin would never ask for that. He wants to play.
Right.
We've kind of told him
Yeah.
that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, he understands the big picture.
Yeah.
His knees will, help us later. And it's important that we get these young kids a little bit of playing time, and see how they are. Because eventually, we're going to have to make a decision, and eventually Justin's going to make a decision, and we're going to have someone else behind our dish eventually.
Right. Do you feel like this is getting close to the kind of last kick at the can for this group of guys, or you think that that's not the case?
I don't know. You would have said that 2 years ago, and then we would have said it last year. And
We did, yeah.
Yeah. These guys love to play. In that clubhouse on a Sunday afternoon, they're all smiles and giggles. Like, They love playing baseball. So that's a hard thing to change. To sit there and say all of a sudden not every Sunday they're going to come here and spend time together. They play for each other. They play for the logo as well.
Yeah.
But they just like being together. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. The new ownership is really giving them some motivation as well, give them a little extra pop. Just seeing all the things going on here at the ballpark, which is all really new to them. for our home games, and the crowds have been awesome. Great crowds. So I think we're going to be, in pretty decent shape for a little bit longer at least.
Yeah, this new ownership and all the new initiatives that they've had seems like it's working out pretty well, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of excitement at the ballpark. There's a lot of activity. People are, they're buying food, they're buying jerseys.
Yeah.
Did you expect it to be this successful?
I had hoped it. I wasn't counting on it, but they've been great. The communication has been fantastic, right from like the top owners to myself and everyone in between. Things are on time. If we need something, they'll get it. The communication goes down to the players. I think that's something that, what I try to do is to let them know what's going on. And I think that it resonates to everyone. The guys working up here, the guys working the booths, the volunteers.
Yeah.
It's so much more fun to come when you don't have to do everything yourself, and you have some help and you have some support.
Yeah.
And if we're missing something, they'll do their best to fix it and to get it done. I know that the rough start and the wins and losses was a little tough for them to take.
Yeah.
Explaining to a new ownership group that it takes our old guys a little while to get going isn't always an easy sell.
Yeah.
But our players never wavered. They're confident. We're good. We're in a good shape right now.
That's kind of an interesting point as well. I mean, the Maple Leafs have historically been a team where they care a whole lot more about the postseason than the regular season, right? Like, you don't want to finish down in the standings. You want to have home field advantage for as long as possible. I mean, there is one team, I guess, that doesn't make the playoffs this season, but do you think there's more emphasis this year on trying to put together more wins in the regular season?
Yeah, we started off like that, and of course everyone wants to win. They're trying to win. Trust me, they're trying to win. Just didn't work out. We also had a tough schedule, I think, early. The teams that were struggling early, we didn't seem to face any of them, and all of a sudden we're one of the teams that was struggling early. But we fought through. We've won some big games. We've played some better baseball. Obviously, we've played better baseball the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Our strikeout to walk ratio on the pitching staff has been fantastic. We're really happy with that. We've had some days where we haven't played good defense. We've had some days where we've left runners on base and some unluck. But I think we're playing better baseball right now. And it'll be fine. You know how baseball is. It'll come down at the end.
Jordan Castaldo is another one of those guys that's really been picking it up lately. He's now in the leadoff spot for the Maple Leafs. What kind of, was he part of that decision? Were you part of that decision?
Yeah, that's all Jordan. He did it last year too.
Yeah.
That's all Jordan. Vinicio was struggling. Jordan takes a lot of pitches and allows, he makes pitchers work. So by getting 5, 6, 7 pitch at bats early in the game, that's going to help Justin, and that's going to help Salazzo and Marcus and everyone on the team see more pitches and get pitch counts up. And Vinicio was struggling. Now last year Vinicio got hot and we moved him back up, right? And we flipped it back. But right now it's going well, and I think actually Vinicio's been real good in the 7th hole. He's kind of given us some speed, and him and Ryan have been able to run from a little lower in the lineup there. They give us some more options. But yeah, Castaldo's double there. Again, I know it was mentioned. Big moment, passing Damon Topley into 3rd all-time in doubles.
Yeah, how do you keep track of all of those stats?
I'm a sports geek. Let's be honest. No one spends 10 years in the IBL unless you're kind of driven and motivated and just love the game and love these guys.
So Gabe Bruder into the game now for the Brantford Red Sox. That's the new pitcher on the mound. You know as well as anybody, just because the Maple Leafs play every Sunday, that playing 3 games in 3 days is never easy. How big was it to get into Brantford's bullpen this early on?
Yeah, it should have been 4-4. Brantford kind of got lucky to get rained out on on Thursday. When I looked at the schedule, I went, "Oh, this is good shape for us." I was kind of excited about it, but Brantford's pitching the last 3 games there, or 2 games there, was really good. They played really good baseball. They've been in a lot of games. They've been tight. They're definitely improved. Their 9 starting players have always been pretty good in the last couple of years. It's been the pitching, and I think the pitching's starting to catch up. And that Lockening kid's done really well.
2-2 from Bruder, fouled off by Jordan Castaldo. When you brought Ryan Dos Santos back to the team again this year, do you expect at this point in the season he would be leading the Maple Leafs in home runs?
I called it. I told him he was going to do it too. I've called. He's a good ball player. His confidence is good right now. He's one of those guys that when he has good confidence, it's important. It was a weird call, but.
Strike 3 on Jordan Castaldo, who doesn't like it. Well, we get a lengthy stay this time. Yeah. Jeff, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate you keeping us up to date and excited about all the
No problem. Thanks for having me. Sorry, Zach, for taking your seat.
That's Jeff Lounsbury from the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.
Back here at Dominico Field and taking a look at some of the work that we've seen from Gus Wilson so far on the Brantford Red Sox. And he's been excellent lately and this entire season as well. An on-base percentage of .500, a batting average coming in today of .395. He's been getting some extra base hits as well. We talked about Jordan Castaldo's on-base streak. Well, Gus Wilson's got a little on-base streak of his going too, dating back to the playoffs last season. He's on a 22-game heater and kind of the perfect guy to have in the leadoff spot who gets on base so much.
Yeah, and I mean, we always kept talking about how the Leafs need to get their guy who gets on base. Well, Brantford, they have their guy in Gus Wilson. I mean, the .395 batting average coming into today, it just kind of speaks for itself of what he's able to do. 7 walks on the season, and it's just it's very interesting to see, like, his stats throughout the season. I mean, the game going into Hamilton yesterday, he had a .500 OBP. Like, he gets on base for this Brantford Red Sox team.
500, yeah.
That is impressive.
Angel Castro's been impressive so far in this game. He struck out 4, hasn't given up a run through 3 innings, and he has given up 1 hit, so you can get that out of the way. But he has been excellent. The funny thing is the guy that he's given up the 1 hit to is Matt Torrenson, who didn't have a hit in the Intercounty Baseball League coming into today. Brantford Red Sox did a pretty good job of getting out of that last inning. They pulled Ricardo Alvarez de Lugo midway through and then brought in Gabe Bruder, who got the out that they needed. Now Kieran Bowles is at the plate. And El Castro had a 1-2-3 inning in the 3rd. And Bowles takes a strike. It's 1-2. Kieran Bowles is 0 for 1 today. Pitch from Castro. Just missed up and in. Angel Castro leaning into a celebration but couldn't get there. Counts 2-2.
What I like that I'm seeing out of Castro is he's staying in a rhythm. It's nothing slow, it's nothing broken. It's every time he gets that ball, he's back on the mound, he's getting set, and he's going for the next pitch. He's been in that rhythm since the first batter of this game.
2-2 in the air. hit pretty well. Over is Jesse Hodges, and he makes the catch. One away. I thought that Angel Castro's game against the Welland Jackfish, he was pitching a lot slower. He was still pitching fast, but a lot slower than what I've seen Angel Castro pitch in the past. Today, he has been speeding through Brantford Red Sox hitters, and it's a lot easier when you're not giving up very many hits and getting 1, 2, 3 innings to stay in a nice quick rhythm. But Angel Castro has been grabbing the ball and throwing it so far. Is pitching from the full windup, but still.
And it's just massive when you can have the first inning that he had, where you have 3 hitters that are hitting either well over 300 or just around 300 for this Brantford Red Sox team, and he just set them down right in order.
Here's the 1-1 to Jeremy Villa. In there for a strike, 1 and 2. Another interesting dynamic is this is the 40-year-old Angel Castro pitching to the 19-year-old Lachlan Mott. More than double the catcher's age.
Right? Like, I'm not gonna make him miserable.
Castro's, I think, shimmying and shaking on the mound here. He's feeling himself.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. He is feeling himself a bit.
I was just peering over there at the computer to seeing what year Lachlan Mott was born.
Yeah, it's a bit scary, isn't it?
I'm trying to see if I can see it.
Yeah, well, I don't have the year up on the screen, but 19-year-old's gold, so go ahead and do the math.
Oh, don't make me do that.
It's after 2000.
Thanks.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, 5 for Angel Castro on the day.
First baseman number 25, Nick Burdett.
I think he's an 05.
I was just about to do it on my calculator. Yeah. So scary to think that Angel Castro, his Savant page, his page that we've looked at so many times as reference, it started in 2006.
Yeah. I have a pretty good read on ages of people 19 and 20, because in junior hockey, I know this year the overage year, which is 20, is 2004. So then 19 would be 2005.
Okay. So you had a little bit of a cheat code, that one.
Nick Burdett is at the plate for the Brantford Red Sox, a guy with good power and a guy who's been on Brantford for 13 seasons. But also off to a bit of a slow start this year with the bat.
He's one of 4 guys that has appeared in all games so far this season for Brantford. You mentioned the slow bat, but I mean, he's still putting up good numbers. More walks than strikeouts so far this season.
Yeah, the 184 batting average is much lower than normal for the first baseman. But the Brantford Red Sox, you can tell, still have confidence in him. He's been in that number 4 hole like he's been for most of his career with Brantford. And now he's in a hitter's count, 3-0. And he was swinging, hits it on the ground to Jordan Castaldo, who will beat out Nick Burdett, who is hustling down the line. And that'll do it for the Brantford Red Sox in the top of the 4th inning. That is another 1, 2, 3 inning for Angel Castro. He's got 5 strikeouts, and he is feeling himself here at Dominico Field. To the bottom of the 4th we go, 7-0 Maple Leafs. Back here at Dominico Field, taking a look at the home run leaders in the Inter-County Baseball League, and boy, there's some guys off to a good start. Seth Strong of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers is crushing the baseball. He has 7 home runs already this season. Stephen Moretto with 6. Josh Garton, who got 4 home runs right off the bat, has slowed down a little bit, but he's still up there with 5 now. And then J.D. Williams and Eduardo De Olio of the London Majors have 4, and there's 2 Maple Leafs that are getting pretty close to being in that picture as well. John Salazzo has 3 with his home run today, and so does Ryan Dos Santos. John Salazzo has typically been one of those players up in that top 5 leaderboard, and he'll probably find his way up there at some point this season as well.
Yeah, we know this Maple Leaf squad has tons of power, and there's a lot of guys that can be on that list. Again, it was just a very slow start with the bats, and you know, as the weather gets warmer, it kind of seems like those Maple Leaf bats get warmer as well. They are just starting to heat up, and if I'm doing my math correctly, I believe it's now 5 home runs hit in the last 3 games.
Brantford Red Sox have 5 home runs this season. Here's the 0-1 to Mara. Takes low. 1-1. Justin Mara has about the best baseball song you could walk up to. The song that he walks up to is called Your Love by The Outfield. And the name of the album that song is in is Play Deep. They're going to have to play deep here as he hits it in the air. This one is deep, and it is gone. Justin Mara. And the Maple Leafs lead 8-0.
Talked about the home run totals in the last 3. We'll add another one. That's 6 now. And a big shot for Justin Mara is his 2nd of the season.
And another dangerous hitter coming up now in Marcus Connect. The Maple Leafs are swinging it well today. Jesse Hodges just missed a home run an inning ago. First run allowed now in this game by Gabe Bruder. Marcus Connect actually just missed a home run as well last inning. It went a mile high. Roger Keane was there to make the catch.
It just seems like a good energy around the club right now. The last 2 weeks, it's been a different product on the fields. You know, the bats have been slowly coming alive, and each one of these guys, they never gave up on each other. They were always fighting. They've been fighting since the start of the season. So, you know, you can definitely tell there's a different vibe in that dugout.
Connect swings and misses. Strike 3. First strikeout for, or second strikeout, I should say, for Gabe Bruder. John Salazzo hit a home run to opposite field. That was a low liner, but it just got over the wall and left. That was in his last at-bat. Now he faces a new pitcher in Gabe Bruder. And his first pitch looks like a fastball down in the dirt.
There was a couple games ago where Salazzo, he hit a pop fly in the outfield. That looked like it was to the moon and back, but we just said he just missed that. So Salazzo, his swing is coming around, and when he starts making contact and he's not just missing ththese baseballs, it's going to be scary.
Another one that spiked in the dirt by Bruder. So John Salazzo was ahead in the count 0-2, or 2-0 I should say. And when a pitcher is wild like that, throws 2 pitches in the dirt, this might be a time where he gets a get me over fastball.
Looked like he went back to the breaking ball for a 3rd straight time in the dirt. So partner, I'm gonna give it to you now.
Okay.
You've already hit a home run in the day. You're ahead 3-0 with no outs, or with 1 out, excuse me. You got the green light?
Well, he hasn't pulled a home run yet, so I give him the green light. He's Got to find a strike though, and Gabe Bruder is really struggling in just the last 4 pitches, but he does not have his release point right now. Brings Ryan Dos Santos to the plate for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's got John Salazzo on first base and trying to chase down his teammates in the home run department. Had a big cut at that one and fouled it straight back. Just a reminder that Toronto Maple Leafs baseball on YouTube is brought to you by MNP, National in Scope, Local in Focus. MNP is one of Canada's leading professional services firms, proudly serving individuals, businesses, and organizations since 1958. Here's the 0-1 to Dos Santos. Low and in the dirt.
Shout out MNP. There we go.
Toronto Maple Leafs have done an excellent job recruiting their sponsorship this season. Tons of those outfield banners we see on the field.
And again, obviously today is Father's Day, so a lot of people are out with their families, their dads. But for the most part, a lot of these games, we've seen good crowds coming here too.
You know, they've actually started really trickling in here over the last couple innings. It was a slow start for the attendance, but you can't see them right now, but they're all up under the big tree on the hill.
I think it's one of the only places to get shade.
Yeah. Here's the 2-2 to Ryan Dos Santos. He's had a good cut at a fastball already in this at-bat. Gets a breaking ball, and it's up high. Boy, that Gabe Bruder curveball looks pretty similar to the one that we saw with Alvarez early on. Once again, also misses high. Big velocity change between the curveball and the fastball. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Ryan Dos Santos. And he takes high, ball 4. Back-to-back walks, this time on a 3-2 pitch by Gabe Bruder. And it brings Jesse Hodges to the plate.
And just the patience out of the Maple Leafs right now is just sensational. Doing a great job not expanding their zone, staying within a game plan. And they are passing the torch down, already 7 on the board.
Jesse Hodges doubled off the wall in his last at-bat. First pitch from Bruder. And Hodges takes in the dirt. That's another one that bounces before home plate. Two on, 1 out. Hodges at the plate facing the righty Gabe Bruder, and he finds the top of the zone. Gabe Bruder has pitched in just a couple innings for the Red Sox this season. Hodges fouls a breaking ball to the backstop. Bruder pitched against Welland, where he only got through a third of an inning and gave up a couple of hits, and then pitched against London, where they were able to get to Gabe Bruder as well, as he gave up 3 earned runs over 2 innings. Now the 1-2 from Jesse Hodges, and Bruder's going to step off. Gabe Bruder was effective, though, in 12 games for Brantford last season at a 5.53 ERA. That pitch way outside to Hodges, now 2-2.
And again, just the Maple Leafs, their approach right now, they've been noticing that Bruder, he's been having some trouble trying to control this off-speed pitch. They are not expanding the zone whatsoever, and Bruder, he's just not getting the call in the outer half.
The 2-2. On the ground. What a pick there by Gus Wilson. Goes to second for 1, on to first, and it's in the dirt and kicks off the glove of Nick Burdett. Jesse Hodges was not hustling down the first baseline, and it was almost like it threw off the second baseman Kieran Bowles, who thought he was going to have to make a quick throw and then kind of held back and spiked the throw in the dirt.
Yeah, the way he came off the base at second is he took the off balance throw instead of just kind of setting his feet and throwing it. Again, didn't know Hodges was kind of giving up on that one.
So here's Jose Vinicio, has 2 runners on, and he hits it in the air. This one's to center field. Torrenson over and makes the catch, and that will end the inning. So Gabe Bruder gets into a little bit of trouble, but gets out of it in the end. Surrenders just the home run to Justin Marr. It's 8-0 Toronto Maple Leafs here at Dominico Field, and we'll be right back. Jesse Hodges last year went to Jeff Lounsbury and the coaching staff and said, "Hey guys, I can pitch." From the perspective of someone who is a pitcher to a guy like Jesse Hodges who hadn't pitched, he told me he hadn't pitched since he was like 13, 14 years old or something like that.
Other than Hamilton, the last time I started a game was actually in like 2012 when I was in high school. But I knew I could do this, so that's why I kept telling people, like, I can pitch, I can do it.
How impressed were you, or were you surprised at how well he was able to do on the mound last year as his kind of first crack at pitching in a while?
No, honestly, I wasn't that surprised because Jesse, at the end of the day, he's a gamer. He's a baseball player. You ask him to do anything on the field, and he's going to give it 150% and not leave anything else out there. And he's a talented guy. I mean, he's a professional baseball player. He's seen people do it for a lot of years, and he's a pro level defensive player. And when you're throwing across a diamond at third base, like you've got to be still pinpoint with your control like that. And once he was just on the mound, he just had to hone a little bit. Obviously, he's a little bit rough around the edges, but you can see that he's really giving it all out there. And you really want a guy like that on your side and pitching out there. And he's going to be a bulldog and attack hitters and not give anything else out there.
So you're saying that after I saw him throw the ball from the outfield and gun a few guys out at home, we shouldn't have been surprised?
Yeah, he's got an absolute hose. I mean, it's you see it from third, then you stick him out in left field, and he's gunning guys down. It's just stick him on the mound.
Oh, back here at Dominico Field, Angel Castro, who has had back-to-back 3 up, 3 down innings, is on the mound. And this one's hit in the air. Not particularly deep. It's in right field where Ryan Dos Santos is parked, and he makes the catch, 1 away.
And I believe, the 5th straight inning, he's led the inning off with getting an out. I mean, that's just efficiency and what you want to see out of a pitcher like Castro. Is just work quickly, get that first out relatively quickly.
So 1 away for Angel Castro. He faces Torrenson, who pops it up. Dan Mara there makes the catch, 2 away. 3 pitches, 2 outs for Angel Castro here in the 5th.
I for a second thought it was only 2 pitches, 2 outs. I said, are we going to see the rare 3-pitch inning?
Yeah, he got a foul off and then a fly ball, I think, start the inning. Roger Keane is at the plate. And Roger Keane takes ball 1, and with it being just the first 3 pitches, obviously taking all the way. Now ahead in the count on Angel Castro. Castro delivers a strike. So talking to Jeff Lounsbury there, exciting news for the Maple Leafs, getting Taylor Lepard back in the mix. Although I don't think he's available to go today, but I'm not sure. But Taylor Lepard has been working hard over the off season, and he's got that fastball velocity up to a max of 96.3. 1-2. Fouled off.
Yeah, we talked earlier in the season about Lepard when Dos Santos was letting me know, saying, I was doing some live at-bats against him. He hit one off speed, and Lepard said, nope, I'm throwing you straight fastballs now.
Yeah, fastball at 96, a changeup at 85, and a slider at 87.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Here's the 2-1. And those aren't just numbers, too. There's videos of him throwing that, too. He's been at whatever baseball facility is that. You know, they got the radar guns behind home plate. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Hal Castro got Roger Keane there on a breaking ball. Another 1-2-3 inning from Castro, who continues to roll through 5 innings. The Maple Leafs lead 8-0 over Brantford. Well, I don't know if we're going to see Marcus connect or not this inning, but he has been fantastic for the Maple Leafs lately. 10 hits in his last 25 at-bats, and that compares quite well to the slow start that he had. A start which he went 0 for 17, had just a couple of RBIs, but now, in the last 5 games, he's putting together 3 extra base hits. He's cashed in 7 runs, and he's hitting .400, and he's looked really good in this game as well with that double.
Yeah, and it's just a very smooth swing with Marcus Connect. You look at what he's been able to do, even just today. He had that double in the first. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a sac fly. So another RBI on the total for Marcus Connect. But again, I think the most impressive thing to me was that home run he hit in Kitchener, because not only was it his first of the year, but that ball came off the bat extremely fast. It had to have been near 110 exit velocity.
Lachlan Maud is going to lead things off. You've been keeping track of that? That's 9. We just had the El Castro yell counter up on the screen. There we go. He has been screaming from the dugout.
Always screaming.
This one's hammered down the line by Lachlan Maud. That gets into the corner and will be a double. Lachlan Maud has his second hit of the day. We talked to Jeff Lounsbury a couple innings ago, and the first thing he said about Lachlan Maud is that he can hit, and that's what he has done this inning, or this game for the Maple Leafs.
And when we first saw him a couple weeks ago, I think me and you had the exact same reaction. Just, wow, this kid is big. He's built pretty well, and you know, it took a little bit for the bats to finally start getting heated up. But I mean, he's been hitting the ball whenever he's been put into games. 2 hits here today for him.
Just his 4th game so far, but he's been good. Also, I guess we can chalk that one down as the first extra base hit for Lachlan Maud in the IBL. Maple Leafs have all of a sudden found quite a bit of strength in their catching. Justin Mara, I should say, and Dionysius Chialtis, and now Lachlan Maud as well. Looks like he's going to compete for some of that catching time when Justin Mara isn't playing.
And Chieltis, he had a decent game in Kitchener. The totals weren't there on the scoreboard, but he had some hard hit balls that kind of just found defenders. He had one, I believe it was a diving stop at third base to cancel him out for extra base hit.
Dan Mara at the plate. Hits it on the ground. This will advance the runner to third base. Dan Mara is throwing out. Couple more yells from Angel Castro with the contact being made by Dan Mara. So, I don't know if anyone saw it before the game, but Angel Castro's son was out taking some ground balls at shortstop with the Maple Leafs players. And boy, did he ever look good. Taking some at-bats as well, and was talking to Sam Green. I was like, who's that kid out there at shortstop? He said, oh, that's Angel Castro's son. And I know all the Maple Leafs players are also very impressed with what he's been doing. I know Angel Castro was a bit late coming to the team this season, as this one's on the ground by Jordan Castaldo. This is going to cash in a run, and the Maple Leafs lead 9-0. But Angel Castro was out in the U.S. watching his son. I think he was playing at a baseball tournament. So there are some good baseball genes in that Castro family.
Yeah, and it helps when, your dad, he has great experience, a lengthy list of experience. He's a great arm, and I mean, he can definitely help you as you grow up.
Enjoy the game, though.
So it's Justin Mara who's at the plate. He homered in his last at-bat. The red-hot Marcus Connect on deck. And Mara just missed another one as he fouls it straight back.
Yeah, if Justin Mara can continue his hot play, and I mean, obviously you look at Marcus Connect heating up, but this lineup gets very deep. The first 1 through 5, I mean, they all have power potential.
Bruder delivers in the dirt. Gabe Bruder is kind of quietly doing a good job here for the Brantford Red Sox, giving them some relief, just trying to bridge the gap to some of those other guys in the bullpen, and there's not many. 3-1, the count now on Mara. Just 4 relievers left, and Norman Coleman Goodwin pitched yesterday, although he only did throw 16 pitches in that win against Hamilton. So he's probably available out of the bullpen. And Isaiah Ramos started games last year for Brantford as well. On the ground to first base, Nick Burdett gloves it, walks to first, and Justin Mara is retired. And that'll do it for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 5th. They lead 8-0 over Brantford. We'll be right back here on the Toronto Maple Leafs YouTube channel.
Back here for action in the top half of the 6th. Evan Ryan takes this for a ride to center field, but the newly entered Connor Lewis will make that catch for out number 1.
Right fielder number 28, Brantford.
Another fast first out here for Castro, who again is working efficiently into his 6th inning right now. And he has sat down 11 straight batters, looking very strong on the mound for the Maple Leafs here. Pitch here to Graham Tibbett is low and away for ball 1. Big cut there, fouled off. The only hit on the day was all the way back in the 2nd inning. It was a single off the bat of Matt Tornson. Other than that, I mean, there has been nothing from the side of Brantford to figure out Angel Castro.
First IBL hit for Torrance.
How about that? You know, the only hit of the game is the first IBL hit for a player in his career.
Yeah, Castro's looked incredibly different from his first start to this one. It's a tale of 2 different pitchers. Now that his velocity's up, he's looked much, much better.
Check swing. Did he go around? The first base umpire will say yes. So strike 2 called right there on Graham Tibbett.
And this is the Castro that we're used to seeing, right, in years past. This is the guy who's pitched for, 16 years? He looks a lot more like himself today than he did in his first start back.
It looks like Lachlan Maud, either a bug, dirt, or something flew into his eye and called time immediately because you can't see, and you don't want a pitch coming in when you can't see it. So here's the 2-2 from Castro. Big cut at a swing, strike 3, another strikeout for Castro, who is just racking them up today. 7th of the day.
Shortstop number 27, Gus Wilson.
And back to the top half of the order. Gus Wilson stepping into the box here for the Red Sox. He has struck out and flew out to right field in his 2 plate appearances.
And along with Connor Lewis taking over in center field, Lucas Alberti has taken over for Dan Mara at second base. We saw just moments ago Charlie Towers warming up down the left field line. He'll likely come in as the defensive replacement. Wouldn't be shocked to see him take over for Jonathan Salazzo, who's had a good day. With the lead where it's at right now, there's no need for guys to worry about getting injured and let some of these younger guys get some opportunity.
Yeah, they've built up a big enough lead, like you said, get some reps for these younger guys. You know what we're going to get out of the veterans. You know what you're going to get out of some of the guys that are here day in and day out. So why not see what you have in some of these guys that are on the bench?
Yeah, I think I can wait.
And El Castro fires in, and it's fouled off by Wilson.
And I mean, I also wouldn't be shocked if this was the last inning for Castro. It's only his 2nd start. Dean Christides is down in the left field line, starting to throw lightly. If Taylor Lepard were active today, this would be the game to get him in. It's a 9-0 game. It's a bit of a blowout. It's against a bit of a struggling Brantford Red Sox offense today.
Pitch by Castro, outer half corner, and he's hopping off the mound for another strikeout. Have yourself a day. Angel Castro through 6 of one hit ball, We'll head to the bottom half of the 6th with the Maple Leafs bats.
Well, Angel Castro continues to be good for the Maple Leafs, and this is the first at-bat for Connor Lewis, who hits it on the ground to shortstop, and it's booted by Gus Wilson over there at short, so Connor Lewis will reach on the air. One on, nobody out for the Maple Leafs in the bottom of the 6th.
Another hot bat. Jonathan Salazzo re-steps up and smokes this to center.
And no one's there to make the catch. It falls. Graham Tebbett was racing out to get that baseball, and that one's going to fall in. So John Salazzo reaches after homering earlier in the game, and here's Ryan Dos Santos.
And Salazzo, I caught that one off the end of the bat, but he possesses so much power where it just kept on carrying over the shortstop's head.
Ryan Dos Santos takes a strike. Gabe Bruder still on the mound for the Brantford Red Sox. Maple Leafs leading 9-0, but Bruder is eating up innings, and this is now a lot more manageable for Brantford to get through this game.
And I was looking at Brantford's schedule. They have 1 day off, and then they got to go play Guelph on Tuesday. So not a lot of rest for these boys here in this week.
The 1-1 to Dos Santos. In the dirt. Blocked by Jeremy Villa. Jeff Lounsbury actually brought up a good point a couple innings ago as well. This was actually supposed to be 4 games in 4 days for the Brantford Red Sox, but they got rained out on Thursday, which was a big boost for them.
Yeah, a little blessing in disguise for the Red Sox.
Yeah, and I don't know if that game against the Hamilton Cardinals on Saturday would have gone the same if that was the 3rd game in 3 days. Because essentially this is the rotation that Brantford Red Sox should be throwing out there, and Hamilton's a good offense as well. Maple Leafs have really got to the Brantford pitching today.
And I think it just kind of comes down to the luck on the Maple Leaf side. Obviously, they get the tail end of this 4-4, or 3-3, I should say, for the Brantford Red Sox.
3-2 pitch, popped up. This is playable on the infield. And the catch made by Kieran Bowles. That brings Jesse Hodges to the plate now. Was that yell, "I got it"? Jesse Hodges, the longtime Chicago Cubs farmhand, made it all the way up to AA in 2019 with that organization, played a bit in the Frontier League with Quebec, and also had some national team appearances with Team Canada, one at the Pan Am Games. That would have been back in 2015, I believe.
Yeah, Hodges, he's just a ball player. He works wherever he needs to work. He'll pitch if needed, hit.
Here's the 1-2 to Jesse Hodges. And he takes way outside. All right, just pulled up the 2015 Pan Am Games roster, which won a gold medal, by the way, for Team Canada. Pete Ora came home on a mad dash to home plate to win the gold for Canada over the USA. And there's some nice names on this roster. Here's the 2-2 to Hodges. to step up. I know one of the more inspiring conversations that Jesse Hodges said that he had with a fellow Canadian baseball player was with Jeff Francis, who gave him a nice boost early on in his career. Here's the 2-2. This one's fouled straight back. Bounces up onto the hillside.
A couple big names right there, you know. There's a little name of Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah, Tyler O'Neill.
Scott Richmond.
Chris LaRue is the color commentator on the radio for the Fan 590 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Ben Schulman. Ben Schulman was also a commentator in Barrie for the Intercounty Baseball League as well. Little connection there. And Jesse Hodges hits it into the outfield on a line. Throwback to second is in time. Boy, what a throw out there in left field. Jesse Hodges hit it hard. Roger Keane gets the double play, and that will end the inning. But the Maple Leafs do have a healthy cushion. It's 9-0. And can we wait and see if Angel Castro is coming back on the mound? It looks like Dean Christidis is going to come into the game. We'll have more on Angel Castro and his line when we come back. Back here at Dominico Field, Dean Christidis is on the mound for the Maple Leafs, and some other new defenders in the game for the Leafs is Cole Murchison, who's taken over at first base, and Lucas Alberti, who's over there at second. This one's hitting the air, and running in is Hodges. He slides, and he got it.
Nice catch.
Fantastic play out there and right by Jesse Hodges, who makes a sliding catch, and there's one away.
Like I said, he's just a ball player. You put him anywhere, he will play that position to the best of his abilities, and right there we see it on display. Fantastic read off the bat. Hodges gets to that ball, makes a beautiful sliding catch.
Dean Christidis out of Markham, Ontario, has taken over, a big lefty for the Leafs, 6'3", and has been really good in relief for the Maple Leafs this season. But he got a start last time against Hamilton and gave up some runs. Went 3 innings, gave up 6 runs. Just one of them was earned, though. But Dean Christidis has had 3 appearances out of the bullpen and has been very effective. in the 3.
Yeah, and towards the tail end of this game, just get somebody to bridge the gap to some of your other relievers in there. You see Julian Tomochko warming up.
So we didn't quite finish talking about some of the other names on Jesse Hodges. And what a time to do it, right, after that sliding catch.
Yeah.
Andrew
What a coaching
Albers,
staff, though, too.
Yeah, Andrew Albers is on that team. As this one's lined in the outfield, that's a base hit for Jeremy Villa. Felipe Monta, I don't know if that's a guy you remember. He pitched at the World Baseball Classic last year. Remember, he was straight off the farm. He was training at the farm and came into the game. I got his baseball card. It's up, actually, if you watch Leafs Weekly, you can see that baseball card in the background. And then you mentioned on the coaching staff side of things, that was a star-studded Canadian coaching staff. Ernie Witt was the head coach, and Larry Walker was there as well. Stubby Clapp, who's been in the minors with the Blue Jays and in the Canadian organization for a long time, and Paul Quantrill as well. Nick Burdett hits it on the ground. What a stop at second base by Lucas Alberti, thrown to first in time. 2 away.
Great defense being put on display here in this one.
And then obviously Pete Orr was so good on that team. Scored the winning run for Team Canada to take down the U.S. And, that was just such an exciting moment. So I'm pretty sure that Pan Am Games was in Canada too.
Yeah, I believe so.
And I think it was in Ontario, right? Like right around the Richmond Hill area. Actually, I think the mayor of Richmond Hill is in attendance watching the Maple Leafs game today. Right. Was the Ajax field? Yeah. So the third baseman Desai at the plate now for the Brantford Red Sox. Dean Christides trying to get through a scoreless inning here, but he does have the runner at second base.
Looks like a balk.
Now he's at third base. Dean Christides seems to be in agreement with the umpire who was at second base.
Nod the head, said, yep, I did that. Thought I could get away with it, but I did.
The worst thing as a pitcher, though, to come back is now you're thinking about your delivery and see if Dean Christides can work through this. Got a pitch on the inner half there to Desai, and he fouls it off.
And that base hit in this inning is the first base hit since the second inning. I mean, like, what a day Angel Castro had. "13 straight batters sat down by him. Christides had 1, so it's 14 straight batters between hits.
Yeah. And just the 1 hit given up as well. 8 strikeouts over those 6 innings. Yeah, when you go 6 innings and you only have to face 19 batters, that's
pretty
not
good.
bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Some would say it's all right.
The 1-2. Fouled off. High in the air to the left. And Bobby Armstrong's going to have to play that one on a hop. And I don't know if Bobby had a great read on that ball.
I don't know either, yeah. He looked like he was calling everybody off, and then he kind of just lost it, I guess.
Has made some great catches, though, in the past down the left field line in foul territory. The 1-2 on the ground, fielded by Alberti. He throws to first, and that is a scoreless inning. And a little fist pump on the way out from Dean Christides. The Maple Leafs lead 9-0 over the Brantford Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Jose Vinicio hits it in the air to start off the bottom of the 7th inning, and the catch is made out there in left by Roger Keane.
Liberty Village.
One away.
It's not bad, and he said before the gardener closed.
Maple Leafs have 9 runs on 9 hits, and one of the things I think the Maple Leafs will be most proud of today is they haven't made an error. They have been excellent in the field so far.
Yeah, we talked about how their fielding usually, last year especially, was magnificent. Jose Vinicio, we saw him make a fantastic play. We saw Alberti make a great stab at second just this previous inning. That's what you want to see out of this squad, and I feel like this Maple Leafs team, they are starting to hit stride. And this is when things can get very scary.
Lachlan Maud takes a strike. In Toronto Maple Leaf wins, they have averaged less than an error, 0.7 errors per game. In Maple Leaf losses, they've averaged 2.44 errors a game. Very direct correlation.
If you wanted an interesting number, well, the runs against so far this season, the Leafs have given up the 2nd most in the league.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling a lot of that comes off, those errors, and then the pitchers trying to do a little bit too much, probably work around some guys, and then big home runs coming. And that's what we've seen over the early courses of this season.
Strike 3 called on Lachlan Maud. 2 away.
I guess it's a little erratic, eh?
Now by the second baseman, number 35, Lucas Alberti.
So 99 runs, that's what Maple Leafs pitching has given up this season. Only 75 of those 99 are earned. This one's popped up, playable in center. And that is a 1-2-3 inning as Lucas Alberti is retired. Gabe Bruder starting to find his stride here on the mound for the Brantford Red Sox, but Brantford trailing 9-0 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. To the 8th we go here at Dominico Field. Welcome back to Dominico Field. Julian Tomachko leads things off and he hits Matt Torrenson, who's going to head down to first base. Well, first pitch, not a good start here for Julian Tomochko, but he does have a healthy lead behind his back and the 9-0 lead for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He'll face Roger Keane, who's hitting out of the 8th spot today. And he delivers strike one.
The first time all game that the leadoff batter is Reese Bates.
Yeah.
For Brantford.
It's the third batter to reach base all game.
Yep.
Maple Leaf pitching has been excellent today. It's a big outing for Angel Castro as well. Obviously, the Brantford Red Sox don't have as potent bats as the Welland Jackfish do, who really got to Castro. But this was an outing that you really wanted to see a good outing from Angel Castro, and he didn't just put together a good outing, he put together a fantastic outing here today.
Yeah, it's just a fantastic bounce back from that game against Welland. Like you said, the Welland Jackfish, they have star-studded power basically all throughout their lineup, and it showed heavily against Castro in that first outing. Brantford, they have some heavy hitters and some good players, but Castro, I mean, he went above and beyond. He really, really shut down this lineup.
Dean Christides picked him up, just gave up a hit, faced 4 batters in the 7th. And the top of the 8th now, and things have been turned over to Julian Tomochko. Ahead 0-2 here on Roger Keane. And Keane pops it up, Murchison giving it a look, and that's out of play on the first base side.
And just another thing to note is that, you know, the way Castro was throwing, it was something to note that the velocity seemed like it was harder. It seemed like he was in a better rhythm than he was last time.
Yeah, he was working quickly. By the way, Greg Carrington out there in left field now, taking over for Ryan DeSantos. That one's blocked by Lachlan Maud. And Charlie Towers is in the game for Jose Benicio, and Charlie Towers is playing a familiar position to him. He played with the Hamilton Cardinals at shortstop. Lucas Alberti at second, and then Cole Murchison at first base. Tomochko ahead in the count here on Roger Keane. Here's the 1-2. And it's a line drive right to Charlie Towers. Thinks about going to first. Welcome to the ball game, Charlie Towers, as he gets a hot shot there from Roger Keane, one away.
That's one way to wake you up here coming into the ball game.
That will bring the number 8 hitter in Evan Ryan to the plate. Hitting 118 on the season, 0 for 2 today. Ryan checks his swing on the first pitch. Evan Ryan played for Georgetown University in 2015, then played for the St. John Fisher Cardinals. That's Division III baseball in the NCAA. And he's a guy who Brantford's familiar with, as here's a throw down from Lachlan Maud. It's right on the money, and he's safe. Oh, I guess Charlie Towers must have missed the tag there at second base, as that was in plenty of time to get the runner.
Yeah, it looked like it went down, unless the runner did the swim move. Alberti looked like he got that tag down quickly.
Yeah, it was hard to see. There was a bunch of dust being kicked up. Just to finish that thought there on Evan Ryan, he played for the Brantford Red Sox last year. He was a junior call-up for Brantford, as he was on the Brantford Senior Red Sox, which is a senior baseball team in Brantford. Tomochko behind at the count, 3-0. Up high, ball 4, and Evan Ryan will head down to first base. And that brings Graham Tebbett to the plate. And Graham Tebbett's an interesting player as well. So he played Division I baseball. That was back in 2013 and 2014. And he was playing for the Hofstra Pride in the NCAA, but he was a pitcher. Then Graham Tebbett moved over and played for the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. and I think he did some position playing there, but he was still a pitcher. In 2017, named the OUA Pitcher of the Year and an OUA First Team All-Star. So we have a pinch runner over there at first base, and it's Isaiah Ramos who's into the game.
Just electing for some more speed here on the base paths are Brantford.
I guess. 1-0 the count. On the ground, through the hole, into the outfield. This may produce the first run of the ball game for the Brantford Red Sox, but not yet. They're going to hold the runner at third base, and the bases are loaded with one out for Gus Wilson.
Very dangerous at bat here. Gus Wilson, we've been talking about him nonstop throughout the broadcast. He has been that guy for the Brantford Red Sox. Came in today batting just shy of 400.
So Isaiah Ramos is now at second base, and he has never gotten an at-bat in the Intercounty Baseball League. But Brantford has done this once before where they pinch ran him. Well, we have our first Taylor Lepard sighting here at the ballpark. This is the fly ball to center field and plenty of room. And a strong throw in from Connor Lewis. That'll score the first run of the ball game for the Brantford Red Sox. It's 9-1. And I guess Taylor Lepard might be available here for the Maple Leafs as he's in the bullpen.
Should be interesting to see what they elect to do here with Lepard. I'm assuming that he's just warming up just in case Tamachko runs into any more trouble.
Taylor Lepard was playing for Hagerstown in the Atlantic League. As this one gets away from Lachlan Maud, and both runners will move up. The Atlantic League is known as the best independent league around. Tough one to get into, and obviously Taylor Lepard wants to still be playing professional baseball, but I think he's got his roots in a couple of other organizations, and obviously will want to pitch well in the Intercounty Baseball League and get himself back on a pro roster.
Yeah, and we talked about the work he's been putting in, the arm that he has. I mean, it's an electric arm.
2-1. Line drive. This one's into the outfield and deep, and a sliding catch by Jesse Hodges, and he drops the baseball. And Jesse Hodges is hurt out there in the outfield. A run is going to come in to score. It's 9-2, but now the concern turns to Jesse Hodges, and all the Maple Leafs are running out there. Jesse Hodges was laying on his back for a minute. Now he's back on his feet.
He went into that fence hard, sliding. Not sure if it was his arm or shoulder that caught the fence or if it was his head. Looks like it's that left shoulder.
Yeah, he might have gone head first into the chain link fence there. Looks like he might be okay. Obviously, it was a bit shocking to hit the fence that hard. There's no warning track here at Dominico Field, so sometimes tough to tell when you're going to collide with that wall. Jesse Hodges was very close to making a sensational catch, and then the impact of the fence out there and right dislodged the baseball. So it's 9-3 now. The Brantford Red Sox had a couple of runs come home on that play. Hodges is going to stay in the ball game. Maple Leafs have lots of backup on the bench today. So if Jesse Hodges needed to, he could definitely come out of the game in favor of one of the players on the bench. Jeremy Villa swings and misses. Dustin Richardson's played a little outfield in his day. Here's the 0-1. Julian Tomachko trying to get out of this inning. If the catch was made out there by Jesse Hodges, that would have been the third out. So Tomachko will refocus here on Villa. Up and away, counts 2-1.
Yeah, it just kind of looks like Tomachko. Some of these pitches on the outer half, he's just overthrowing it a little bit. He has a good spot, and it's just the release point just hanging on a little bit too tight.
The 2-1. This one's popped up, and this might get the Maple Leafs out of the inning. Charlie Towers is under it at shortstop, and he takes a couple steps back and makes the catch. The Brantford Red Sox tack on 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning, and the bats of the Maple Leafs are coming back up in the bottom half. Well, Cole Murchison came into the game as a defensive replacement, now getting his first at-bat facing Gabe Bruder.
And this is going to go a long way for Brantford. I mean, Bruder came in early on in this game. I believe it was the 3rd inning. Or sorry, the 4th inning he came on, and he has bridged this gap all the way to the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, there's barely any gap anymore.
Yeah, there's no gap. I mean, she's just done a great job.
The Brantford Red Sox next game is actually a pretty quick turnaround. They're going to play Guelph on Tuesday. So this is big. This is big, saving some of those arms. Brantford Red Sox have got excellent starting pitching lately from Jeremiah Sucre, who pitched last game. I don't think he would be in line to pitch next game, but here's a line drive up the middle, down for a base hit. Cole Murchison is aboard. Josh Laukkanen has been the MVP on the mound for the Brantford Red Sox, and he's most likely going to pitch against the Guelph Royals. The last time he faced Guelph, he was really good. He went 7 innings, gave up 6 hits, struck out 6, walked just 2, and gave up just the 2 earned runs. The Brantford Red Sox went on to lose that game 3-2, but he gave his team an excellent chance to win. So here's Brandon Sekulovic, who's going to get his first at-bat of the season, and he takes up and in, ball 1. Brandon Sekulovic has been with the team all season. He was taking some live at-bats early in the year as well with the Maple Leafs, facing some of their pitchers. So here's the 1-0, that's in there for a strike. Picked up his first career RBI last season as well.
Hard work paying off.
Sekulovic fouls one off down the left side. Brandon Sekulovic is hitting in the place of Justin Mara. Here's the 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So that'll bring up Connor Lewis, who replaced Marcus Connect. Lewis is the center fielder. So 1 away. And Lewis hits one high and deep to left field, and it's gone. Connor Lewis, a 2-run home run, and the Maple Leafs lead 11-3.
He got every piece of that one. I mean, it was gone off the crack of the bat.
Well, how about that from Connor Lewis? That is the first home run since 2022 from Connor Lewis, and he crushed it.
He was circling the bases. Not sure if if it was the motion towards the bullpen, but he kind of did the "I want that ball."
Oh, that's great. They give Connor Lewis the silent treatment in the dugout. Lewis has not been known for his power in the Intercounty Baseball League. It's more been the average and the ability to get on base and the speed as well. But that's got to be a nice feeling there for Connor Lewis to hit one out. John Salazzo at the plate. Count is 0-2. Salazzo takes outside 1-2. (11-3) Maple Leafs as they get 2 of the 3 runs back that they gave up in the top half. Ground ball to first. That gets by the first baseman, Nick Burdett. Now John Salazzo's going to have to run to first base. The throw is not in time, but it didn't matter. They called a foul ball?
Yeah, so they said it hit off Salazzo's foot. The home plate umpire immediately was the one signaling it. The first base umpire called it fair.
Right, and John Salazzo knew that hit off his foot too, because he didn't run to first base. That made things a lot more interesting when it took the high hop, though, for Nick Burdett's head out there. Okay. So a 1-2 count, a foul ball. Nobody on, 1 out. And Salazzo takes a big rip and fouls it off.
So Salazzo fighting at the plate here. Big cut of that one, fouls it down. Behind the count, 1-2. Salazzo had the big blast back in the second inning, 3 RBIs. 2 for 3 today with a walk.
Salazzo swings and misses, strike 3. Another strikeout for Gabe Bruder, and there's 2 away.
Left fielder number 16,
So Greg Carrington's going to get his first at-bat today. Jesse Hodges is also in the on-deck circle, so that's a really good sign for Toronto Maple Leafs fans as he crashed into the outfield wall last inning. And this one's hammered by Greg Carrington, and that one goes off the wall. Carrington speeding around first base, but he hit it so hard that he's going to have to put the brakes off and settle for a long single.
Yeah, you mentioned he hit it so hard, it was just right off the wall. The right fielder picked it up almost instantaneously. And want to also mention, with how active he's been in the bullpen, Taylor Part, it looks like he's going to be getting the ninth. He has been throwing for, I want to say now, 5-10 minutes. And the bullpen has made a wall to make sure that he doesn't get hit.
Oh, yeah.
They're making sure that he is safe.
Now batting the right fielder, number 19, Jesse Hodges.
So Jesse Hodges comes to the plate. Gabe Bruder is still on the mound for the Brantford Red Sox. And he might have known that his assignment today was to go a ton of pitches. But he has been throwing strikes, 55 of them. Out of 83 pitches in relief. 84 now.
A phrase I'm sure a lot of Toronto fans have heard. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Bruder, I mean, he knew the assignment he had to do today, and he is just working it to perfection. Yes, he's given up a couple runs, but it is not easy playing these back-to-back games and a lot of games in a short period of time.
Yeah, with him recording 2 outs now, that's 5 innings of relief for Gabe Bruder. He struck out 5 as well. Here's the 2-1. Hodges hammers it down the line, fair ball. Greg Carrington speeding around second, cruising into third. Jesse Hodges into second base. That's a 2-out double. Carrington will hold his ground at third, and Jesse Hodges has his second double of the ball game.
A great piece of hitting by Hodges. It looked like a fastball inner half, and he just kind of drove it, got the hands there quickly.
So Charlie Towers will get his first at-bat of the game. Had to already make a couple plays at shortstop as well since coming in defensively in the 8th. Got a couple ducks on the pond here. Charlie Towers would love to cash in a few.
For the Leafs now, Max Lanoux warming up in the bullpen.
Towers hits it on the ground to second base. Kieran Bowles whips to first in time to record the out, but not before Connor Lewis cashes in the home run and a couple of runs for the Maple Leafs as well. They lead 11-3 over the Brantford Red Sox, and we'll be right back. So the Toronto Maple Leafs have been cashing in some milestones lately. Jordan Castaldo came into the game with 124 doubles. He doubled today, so now he's in sole possession of third all-time as he passes Damon Toppoli for doubles. John Salazzo also came into today with 324 RBIs, which he got against the Welland Jackfish. And that's good for 10th all-time in the Intercounty Baseball League. Justin Mara also collected his 250th RBI. That came against the Welland Jackfish. And Marek Deska, who had an excellent outing last time out against London, he is now 2 strikeouts away from being 7th all-time in IBL strikeouts. So some veterans on the Maple Leafs, but some accomplished veterans as well.
Oh yeah, they are making their names known up on these all-time leaderboards, and sometimes just, they play good baseball, and this is what we've been so used to seeing out of these veterans for the Maple Leafs, and I'm sure that they're going to want to tack on a couple more big milestones this season.
Well, Lachlan Maud, my friend, you are going to have to face some heat as Taylor Lepard is into the game for the Maple Leafs. A brief stint with Welland last year in the Intercounty Baseball League. Then came to Toronto and was excellent, and has been playing for Hagerstown in the Atlantic League this season. Also played for Ottawa in the Frontier League last year, as well as the Winnipeg Golden Eyes. And he'll face Nick Bordette to start things off, and a fastball is high off the glove of Lachlan Maud to start things out. Taylor Lepard would have been able to come back and help out the Maple Leafs in the playoffs last year, but when he was playing for Winnipeg, his team got eliminated early on. He would have been able to come back and play for the Maple Leafs, but he didn't get the amount of qualified innings that he needed. Nick Burdett hits this one high in the air to center field. It chases Lewis back to the wall, and it is gone. Nick Burdett to dead center field, and it's 11-4.
It looked like Lewis had a track on it, but the ball just kept carrying and carrying. And you can see the flags out in center. They are viciously blowing from left to right. So that looked like it might have caught up on the wind stream and just kept on carrying out of there. But that's a welcome back into the IBL if I've seen one.
Well, Taylor Lepard last season for the Maple Leafs was excellent. But he gives up the home run here to Nick Burdett.
And we know the power that Lepard possesses and how much strength he has in that arm. High and outside. Count extends here. I believe time was called, but no, they're going to say it was ball 4. So Desai reaches via the walk, and a little bit of a confusing count there, trying to figure out what was going on. The umpire explains it to both managers and return back behind home plate.
So Taylor Lepard pitched in 2 innings for the Maple Leafs last season, didn't give up an earned run. Gives up 1 here to Nick Burdett, who was off to a slow start, but Burdett just sat on a fastball that he liked, and we've seen that from Nick Burdett before in his 13-year career with the Brantford Red Sox, and he hits it to dead center.
Burdett, yeah, he's always possessed that kind of power and just put it on display there.
Here's the 1-1. Just inside. Matt Torrenson is 1 for 2 today. He swings and misses, 2 and 2. Torrenson, and then Roger Keane is on deck. Here's the 2-2 from Lepard. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The first strikeout in 2024 for Taylor Lepard.
That's a good step there for Lepard, just kind of get back in the flow of things. The first two batters, obviously, that's the complete opposite of what you wanted to happen. Comes back, reloads, and gets the strikeout.
Now blows one by Roger Keane, who was way late on the swing. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1. And Keane late again and just gets a piece of it. Yeah, I mean, for Taylor Lepard, the last thing you want to do is give up a home run, especially on that fastball, which has been such a good pitch for him. But the last thing you want to do is not be confident in it. It's good. There's no question about it.
I believe it was also just a really long travel day for Lepard early this morning, getting everything sorted out.
I mean, Nick Burdett just put a good swing on the baseball. That's what just happened there. Here's the 0-2 to Roger Keane. Back to the fastball, misses high. Gets the fastball into the mid-90s, does Taylor Lepard. Line drive into the outfield. Boy, what an at-bat there from Roger Keane. He was way late again on a fastball, but somehow kept his hands back and drives it into the outfield.
Yeah, shorten up the swing and put the hands quick through the zone to get that.
Your attention, please, a pinch hitter for the Brantford Red Sox. Now batting number 44, Josh Lockley.
So, Brantford Red Sox are going to go to their starting pitcher from a couple days ago, and Josh Laukkanen. He's going to get an at-bat. So 1 out, 2 on. Laukkanen, who's pitched 29 innings this year for Brantford, will get his first IBL at-bat.
And what a time to get your first IBL at-bat with a guy that throws mid-90s.
Yeah, and he swings and misses. The count's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Up and in, and it hit him. Laukkanen gets hit on his left arm, which is not his pitching arm, and he'll head down to first base. And now Sam Green is out of the bullpen to talk with Taylor Lepard.
That fastball Lepard possesses has a lot of late and live movement, so when it's coming out of his hand, it has a fair ton of movement and kind of just trailblazed over the other half, caught Laukkanen in the arm.
So Graham Tebbett will get an at-bat from one guy who's a pitcher to a guy who used to be a pitcher. And Graham Tebbett. So I'm looking here. Josh Laukkanen has had some at-bats before, playing in the NCAA and playing in summer baseball out on the West Coast. But none of them have resulted in hits or walks.
Well, he's reached base.
And there
How
you go.
about that? How about that?
On the ground to first base, Cole Murchison has it pop off his glove. A run's going to come in to score, and all hands are safe. It's 11-5. And now, here comes the top of the order for the Brantford Red Sox, who trail by 6. And for the Maple Leafs, they have taken almost all of their starters out of the lineup. They need Taylor Lepard to get them through this inning. First pitch is up and away to Gus Wilson.
At the start of the inning, there was an arm warming up. It was Max Leno.
Julian Valdez is up as well. Taylor Lepard delivers a strike. Counts now 1-1. If Gus Wilson can get something into the outfield and keep the line moving, things start to get interesting here. The 1-1. He hits it on the ground. This one's to Charlie Towers at short. He throws to second for one. On to first. Picked up by Cole Murchison. Double play. Exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs needed to get them out of the inning as they win it against the Brantford Red Sox, 11-5. Taylor Lepard, I know it isn't exactly the way he wanted to go, but positive is the Maple Leafs do win the ball game, and he gets the double play he needed. And there were some other positives for the Maple Leafs as well. What a start by Angel Castro, I guess, just to start off.
Yeah, Angel Castro, I mean, he was electrifying to say the least in his start today. Nobody let off an inning and reached base while facing Angel Castro. And then the bats. I mean, the bats came alive in the second inning, and it was topped off by the big fly from John Salazzo, the 3-run shot. Justin Mara also had one, as well as Connor Lewis. And I mean, the bats have just been coming alive for the Maple Leafs. It's been slow and steady, but it seems like they are finally waking up.
So the Toronto Maple Leafs win it against Brantford. Final score 11-5. Appreciate you tuning in here to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube, brought to you by MNP. And we will see you on Wednesday night.